How's it going, everybody? All right, continue on in Matthew 24, an end times chapter, probably the best end times chapter in any gospel. Not probably, it's the best end times chapter in any gospel. Now, gospel. I would say it's the best end times chapter in the entire Bible, not just gospel. It's better than anything in Revelation as far as a chapter is concerned. And he sat upon the Mount of Olives, and the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? Well, the temples being thrown down occurred in their lifetime, and of course the end times. So there's basically two questions. The second question is chopped up into two minor questions. When shall these things be, as far as the temples being thrown down? And totally separate, what shall the sign of thy coming? Like, when are you returning? Comma, and the end of the world. So apparently they already knew that when he came, it would be the end of the world. Or they knew that when he would return, it would be the end of the world. Obviously, he's there with them now. They know he's going to leave and return back. And Jesus answered and said unto him, Take heed that no man deceive you. I would say there's nothing crazier than the end times prophecies that are taking place everywhere on YouTube, inside the fake churches. It's ridiculous. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and shall deceive many. I'm going to look up that Matthew 24:5. Since we found out through careful study that there's only one false Christ and one false prophet, when you look it up in the Greek, many, much, large. For large shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Again, this is talking about the Antichrist. It's not plural. Just like we showed you earlier in yesterday's study concerning false Christs. I think that's later on in this chapter, but we were just looking ahead. I'm not sure, can't remember. And you end up looking it up, and it's not plural at all, it's singular. False Christ, false prophet. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. See, he doesn't return until the end of the great tribulation. For nation shall rise against nation. This is the four horses getting kicked off. And kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence. So you're into white horse, red horse, black horse, pale horse, and earthquakes in diverse places, in various places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows. You haven't even got to the great tribulation yet. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So I believe now you're talking about the great tribulation. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Of course, they're going to be possessed and running around killing you. And large false prophets shall rise. And large false prophet shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure to the end, that same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. The gospel is preached by an angel. This is so freaky because it's in today's Bible study. I was wondering, that's why I scrolled down. You'll know that my Bible studies are not random. There's no way I could have planned this in advance. There's no way. This is not the first time that this type of synchronicity by the Holy Spirit has happened. Unbelievable. It's verse 14, and then you go to chapter 14 of Revelation down to verse 6. Let's compare and contrast. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Is that preached by man? No, it's by an angel. Then I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach, and them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, comma. It's fascinating that it's synced up like that. And it's the last verse. And it's the last verse of today's study. And it's verse 14, verse 6. And our final Revelation study is chapter 14 and ends in verse 6. And I looked up, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Sion, and with him 144,000, having his father's names written on their foreheads. See, the mark of the beast is on their right hand and forehead, and God's seal is on their forehead. This is a spiritual sealing, this mark of the beast. And then, of course, God is giving his people a mark, marking his. And I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as if it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000, which were redeemed from the earth. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb wherever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being firstfruits unto God and the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. Now, I believe that these that are sealed are again the remnant. I believe all Gentile flesh has been killed during the Great Tribulation. And then the Lord sets apart his remnant, who were the last to be called, per Romans 11:25. For blindness in part has happened to the remnant, the bloodline, until the fullness of the non-remnant bloodline be come in. So when the last non-remnant bloodline of the true bloodline of Israel, when the last non-bloodline gets the call to Christ, then the remnant of the true bloodline will be awakened, because they don't know Jesus today. They don't get that call until later on, at the abomination of desolation. Love you very much. Ask questions anytime.